Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode. Letty here, and we are getting into the power of love and how putting yourself first transforms every relationship. Lately, I have been screaming to the rooftops about how important self love is. Mainly because of all the relationships that we have in our lives and that we focus on so much, the relationship that we have with ourselves is often the one that goes neglected. Self love is often misunderstood because it's as if you having self love automatically means you're selfish. And that's really not the case. Self love isn't selfish, it's necessary. But if we're going to talk about being selfish, I actually need you to be a little bit selfish. I need you to be a little bit more selfish because the problem often is you end up the last on your list or not even on your list. And that is the fastest way to get to burnout. It's the fastest way to build resentment in your relationships because you make all these sacrifices to make everybody else's world go round. Meanwhile, your world is crumbling down before you. And that's just not sustainable. And it's not healthy. It's just not good for you to not take care of you. We have all been blessed with this life that we are living. We've all been assigned our own human. And we have to take care of our human in order for our human to take care of all the other humans in our life. Okay? Okay. So, just like the stewardess tells us every time we get on a plane, they go through the safety protocol and always instruct us to put our own mask on first. Yes, mom and dad, that means you put your mask on first before putting the mask on your kids, right? Because how can you help them with their mask if you already passed out? Like, you're not going to be any good to anybody if you are passed out somewhere. And to the one who feels like you've been wearing the badge of honor of being selfless your whole life, or even a good majority of your life, I am here to let you know it is okay to set that badge down. It is okay to be selfless without sacrificing yourself, your own mental, emotional capacity, your own physical capacity, your own financial capacity. It is possible for you to care for other people without dismantling yourself. And that's why self love is so important. And that's why I need you to be a little bit more selfish because I need you on the list. I need you in the top three of your list. I need you waking up in the morning and doing something for you first thing in the morning. I'm only going to talk a little bit about boundaries, but I really want to make sure that your yes and your no really align with your actions and even your reactions. Because sometimes you're saying yes when you really mean no, and no when you really mean yes. Remember, your actions can often speak louder than your. So, what's your default when somebody asks you to do something? Do you automatically just say yes before thinking through everything that yes really entails? Does it mean that you are going to have to wake up earlier or stay up later? Like, have you really thought through what that yes really entails? What are the details that go into that yes? In your self love story, what character do you play? Are you the main character or are you an extra? I will never forget the day that my husband said, I want to make you happy. And as sweet as it sounded, it was like music to my ears, because, when you all romantical and everything, you want to hear just like in the movies, like you complete me. so cute, right? But I had to correct him. I had to let him know that my happiness is really my job. And his job is to contribute to my happiness. But my happiness, it really belongs to me. Let me explain what I mean by that. I spent a lot of my 20s thinking that someone else had to make me happy. And that is the quickest way to give away your own power. Because anytime you are looking outside of yourself to fulfill a need that you have, you are really handing over your power on a silver platter. And I can just tell you that every single relationship that I was in, it just never measured up. I never got what I needed. It just never measured up. It was like giving a job to somebody who wasn't fully qualified, like giving them this job, but yet they don't fulfill all of the requirements needed to really fulfill that role. And that's because it wasn't their role to fill. It was my role to fill. Only I know my innermost thoughts and needs and desires, and know at any given moment exactly what it is that I need. And it's my responsibility to fulfill that need. And the more that I found myself fulfilling my own needs and making sure that I had what I needed, then I started to see that my other relationships were also fulfilling that need. But it's because I met the need first. And it is the same way when it comes to our own happiness. It is my job to make me happy. And that's the job that we are all tasked with. And once we start to fulfill that happiness for ourselves, everyone else now has the blueprint and they just mirror it right back to you. Because remember, our relationships are a mirror, they're constantly reflecting back to us. So stop giving your power away to someone else thinking that they are going to somehow magically know exactly what it is that you need in every single moment. And they're just going to constantly rise to the occasion and fulfill every single need. When you are looking outside of yourself, you will stay starved. And if you're the kind of person that it's like when you ask somebody to do something and it's like never quite done right to your standard because you had a different idea or you have a different standard that you live by, and it seems like nobody can fulfill it, like that's a real thing. And that's often why you end up feeling that way, is because you've handed off your power and given it to someone else. And they can't do it the exact way that you would do it. And that's why you have to be the first. You have to be the first to make yourself happy. You have to be the first to be honest with yourself, fully honest with yourself. And with that honesty comes making some tough decisions and doing what you know is right for you instead of what you want to do. Because often what's right for you isn't what you want to do. But like E40 said, everybody got choices. So I really encourage you to take your power back. Stop looking outside of yourself for what it is that you feel like you need. And that includes your self love. When you give that responsibility to someone else, they will always disappoint you. They will always not live up to the standard of what it is that you're expecting. But when you fill your own cup up first, when you accept yourself for who you are, flaws and all, honey, when you love yourself unconditionally, then you can experience unconditional love because you're giving it to yourself first. This relationship that I'm in, my marriage, is the happiest, most fulfilling relationship that I've ever been in. But that's because I'm in a place in my life where I am the happiest and the most fulfilled. And so then that relationship is just mirroring that back to me. It's just showing me what I've built on the inside. It is showing me the love and the respect that I have for myself. It's just mirroring it all right back to me. So take full responsibility for your own happiness. It's your job to make you happy, and it's everyone else's job to contribute to it. My wish for you is to remember you are worthy of love, and it all starts with you. When you prioritize yourself, you set the standard for how all of your other relationships show up for you. Our relationships are always our mirror. Your relationship is always reflecting you back to you. And just like all of your relationships, they require your own special brew of tea, time, effort, and energy. Your relationship with you requires the same thing. So, no more making yourself last on your list. Put your own mask on first, and not just in emergencies, but in your everyday life. Encourager, I love you so much. I love you so much. I hope that you love this episode as much as I did. If you did, please share it with some friends. Okay. Share it with some friends. Make sure that you have liked and subscribed this podcast, not just on the platform that you're listening to, but also on the YouTube channel. And leave a review, because that is such a great way to say thank you. And I love you back. Until next time, remember to encourage over your self-love, because together we can encourage over everything.